Hi everyone, I'm Needlecraft Annie. This is Flosstube number 76, and today I actually hope for a short video. Who can believe it? I'm not, at least not yet. I do not have any knitting on crochet. I did quite a bit. Over the last week, I actually took an hour, half an hour crochet, half an hour knitting, just to get progress on my project. Because with both crafts, I'm kind of close to a finish. So yeah, I wanted to get closer to the finish, and someday I want to finish the project. So I decided to do that in the evening. When I'm done with cross stitching, basically ready to go to bed, I take this 1 hour and do some crochet and knitting. As well as I'm still taking crochet and knitting projects with me to work. If I have the time there, then that's fine as well, and I do some over there as well. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm not going to show you any progress today. First of all, I want to have this video a little bit shorter. Normally, my goal is to make videos around 30 minutes. I myself like to watch longer videos, but for doing them, I kind of feel like half an hour is a good goal. So yeah, my last videos were all longer. I think they were all close to 50 minutes. So I decided to just leave those two projects out, because next week I then can show you, or hopefully can show you, 2 finishes, 2 new starts. That would be pretty amazing. And today it's just cross stitch. I have enough projects lying next to me once again. So yeah, I think that's the better thing to do. So we're going with that. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say first, before I start with all my WIP updates and plans for next week. Once again, to round it up, I have a rotation in place, which basically means I stitch on 5 projects every week. One project is like a daily project that I try to get to every day of the week. So far, I tried for 120 stitches every day. Going forward, starting this week, I want to do 145 stitches every day, because then at the end of the week, I will have a little bit over 1,000 stitches, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, one daily project. I will have one project. First of all, 2021 is the year of fancy ladies for me. So I will have one project, one non-full coverage project, that's a fancy lady. I will have one non-full coverage project where I'm rotating through all my non-full coverage projects in alphabetical order. So this can happen to be a fancy lady, but it does not have to be. I will have one full coverage fancy lady, and again I will have one full coverage project. I'm rotating alphabetically through all my full coverage pieces, so this can happen to be a fancy lady as well, but does not have to be. So that's my rotation. Additionally, in March, I participated in the March History Sprints Challenge by the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group. Basically, they had 20 events during March connected to a specific date, and you could either choose to stitch the amount of stitches of the year this event happened. So for example, 1964, then you would have to do 1964 stitches. I have a lot of 10 stitch projects, so I would have to double that amount, and that's way too many stitches. So I decided to take every event, there is a theme given, and I would fit my projects to this given theme. So that's basically what I did. And this week there were 5 projects for March History Sprints. So yeah, it was a busy week. And let's start with WIP updates. Let's start with all my March History Sprint projects. Because as I said, at work I did a lot of knitting and crochet. I only stitched on my full coverage travel stitching project. And I have that one in the March History Sprints as well, so I'm going to show you them. And let's start without travel stitching. That's super rare for my videos because normally I always have travel stitching, but not this time. So let's get started. First of all, for March History Sprints, on the 22nd of March, the theme was Body of Water. So I decided to stitch on Norwegian Ship and the Sail, the small edition by Golden Kite. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. This is stitched on 18 count antique white Ada 2/1 full cross. Needleminder is from Dankai Designs. And I'm stitching in page number 3 over here, and just took all those parked threads from the bottom up in the column and filled them in the column, parked them in the next one. And I have now finally stitched all of, sorry, there was a fly. I have now finally stitched all those parked threads in the sails, and I'm moving into the sky. Isn't that fabulous? I did 3 of those March History Sprints on this project, which means at least 300 stitches. I always went a little bit above, and I still have parked threads over here. So that's kind of crazy, but I'm happy with my progress. I love how the sails turn out. They look amazing. And I can't wait to stitch some more on this one for an actual rotation. Finishing the column, maybe moving into the next one would be pretty nice. So yeah, this is Norwegian Ship and the Sail. Really happy with this one. On the same date, also on the 22nd, there was another theme, and the theme was books. So with books, I had to go to supersized Max Color Cliffhanger, charted by Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Amy Stewart. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I mean, with books, I have to take this one. So I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. I somehow lost my needle minder. I have no idea where it is, so I will try to find that one. But this is stitched on 4T count 1/110 stitch, and I'm stitching in page number 3. You probably don't see a whole lot of progress. I basically took one strand of black and started filling in from the bottom to the top, and I think I did 3 or 4 lines across. So yeah, probably not a whole much progress to see, but I'm happy with this one, and I can't wait to go back to this one and completely fill in this page. That would be pretty amazing. So yeah, can't wait for that one. Really happy. I mean, you cannot see a whole lot so far because it's a supersized, and I think I'm probably at around 5%, maybe not even. So yeah, it will take some time. Probably not even 5%, maybe like 4.5. So yeah, of course you don't see a whole lot so far. I hope to get a little bit more done this year, finishing this page and moving into the next one. We'll see which one will be next, because with this one, I let an app randomly choose my next page. It has to be connected somehow, either directly or diagonally to one of the pages I've already done, but otherwise I have no idea which page will be next. But yeah, presently only stitching on page number 3, filling everything in with black. There's only black missing on this page. So yeah, happy with this one. I mean, it was nice to touch all my projects. I think I had every full covered project in the March History Sprints. So it's nice to touch them for at least 100 stitches. But you don't get a whole lot of progress with those, of course. But yeah, that's that one. On Tuesday, which was the 23rd of March, the theme was Something That Flies. That one was a really complicated theme for me because I did not want to take Once Upon a Fairy Tale every time. So I decided to go with Mini Magic Mirror, also charted by Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Edith Stokes. And in here she has wings, so her reflection can fly. So yeah, that's what it's going to look like when it's done. And with this one, I also used it, I think, one time for travel stitching. So yeah, I did a little bit more than 100 stitches. I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at. So not only did I do a little bit more than 100 stitches, I also got a page finish. So yeah, really happy with this one. Page number 3, which was my second page, is now done. And I finished that for travel stitching. I finished the whole page. So on the 23rd of March, I actually moved into the next page, took the color that was on top, and started filling it in on the whole page, or as long as my thread hold it, or as long as I have thread on my needle. Let's phrase it that way. So yeah, really happy with this one. I'm super happy with how this page has turned out. I can't wait for this page, and yeah, moving further along. It's stitched on 28 count 2/110 stitch. This is a Lugana fabric, and the needle minder is from Just to Heaven. And I'm so happy with this one. It looks amazing. It really does. Especially because it's only the mini. So considering that the full size 7.5 design would have even more details, that's just crazy. So yeah, really happy with how it's turning out. Can't wait to move further across the top. Yay! Not a whole lot planned for this one this year. For all my fancy lady full coverage pieces, which this one is one, I want to do 9,126 stitches the whole year. I have already reached the halfway mark with this project, so that's pretty cool and pretty sad because I'm not doing a whole lot more this year. So yeah, we'll see. But I love how it's turning out. I really do, and I can't wait for more progress on this one. So that's nice. Okay, next March History Sprints was on the 27th of March, which was the Saturday, and the theme was shoes, footwear. Well, which better project to take than Mini Cinderella? Also charted by Heaven and Design, the artwork is by Alexandra Daw. There are shoes down here, or one shoe. Yeah, one shoe down here, and it's Cinderella. I mean, the fairy tale of Cinderella. It's perfect for the theme of shoe or footwear. So I stitched on this one. I'll show a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. I have no idea if you can see any progress. This one is stitched on 28 count ice blue even weave, 1/1 full cross. Needle minder is from Denkai Designs. And basically I stitched in here with a blend out of blending filament, acrylic blending filament 032 is the color, and B5200. And I did, I think, about 170 stitches, and that got me a page finish. Super happy, but you probably don't see a lot. But it's my first page finish on this project. If I turn it like that, you see a little bit more that there's actually something stitched over here. Next, I will move into the page below, finish all those confetti stitches, and yeah, moving further along, downwards, and then probably over to the right, because the most used color in this piece is the blending, or is the Krennic. I did not stitch it with the normal Krennic. It's called for number 4 braid 032, and I decided to go with the blending filament 032 and the B5200. But yeah, that's the most used color, and it's the color I do not like to stitch with. So I'm trying to finish all those pages that have the blending filament in them first, and then it's easier and nicer stitching. So that's basically the plan. But yeah, first page is done, and I have already done like 2,000 stitches of this blending filament. So I'm moving along, but it takes a whole lot of time, and it's not super fun. But yeah, here we go. Mini Cinderella, only a bit more than 100 stitches, but a page finish. So that's super amazing. The next one, on the 28th of March, was the theme was art and or painting. Well, I told you that in my last video. Basically, all my full coverage pieces are artworks, and so we're doing the cross stitch after an artwork, and even doing the cross stitch and cross stitching for me is an art form or a form of art. So basically every project would count, but I had one project I had not yet stitched on during the March history sprints, and it was the one that reminded me the most of painting, so I went with this one. It's the Chimney Sweep by Golden Kite. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Mine does not look like that so far. I showed a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. Can you see any progress? I basically did around 150 stitches. It's done on a 25 count 2/110 stitch. Needleminder is from Denkai Designs. And the most I did was in here. So yeah, I have no idea if you can see any progress. I mean, it's all white. It's extreme cross country, so it's even worse to see progress because I'm stitching all over the whole piece until I have finished the color. So yeah, it's not super easy, but it's the way it is. I'm soonish, probably next year, will move into this building over here and will actually have some color. But before I get to that point, I have a few more off-whites to do. So we'll see about that. But yeah, that's that one. As I said, you probably cannot see a whole lot of progress, but I did stitch a whole lot in here because with the color I'm presently stitching on, I have already finished the first row of pages and moving into the second one, and I think the first 1 or 2 pages are already done there as well. So yeah, have been stitching over here, and I'm getting closer to finishing that color because basically those off-white colors are a lot in those top 2 rows, and moving further down, there's not as much of those colors anymore, because in the bottom part of the chart, there's a lot of darker colors and the houses and stuff, and the figure, of course. So yeah, you have a bit more of those off-whites in the houses themselves, but yeah, not so much. So yeah, this is the Chimney Sweep. Showing you those projects where you don't see a lot of progress the longest, at least it feels like, because, well, maybe you see it. I don't know. But yeah, that's the Chimney Sweep. And that's all the March history sprints I did for this week. So that's pretty nice. Now let's move forward to the piece I did stitch on a little bit every day. I did not stitch on it on Monday because filming and then 2 March history sprints, so there was not a whole lot of time missing. That was also the day I did not do any crochet or knitting because I also had to work. So yeah, not a good stitching time or day. But I made up for my stitches on Tuesday. So yeah, project I'm talking about is Lilac Ferry. It's a kit by Vavako. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I would love to finish her in June, because in June she has her 2-year birthday, or her 2nd birthday, and it would be pretty nice to finish her before that. So I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to, and I'm so happy. She stitched on 14 count Lilac Ada 2/1 full cross, except for this background over here. That's stitched 1/1 full cross. Needleminder is from 1 to 3 stitch. And basically what I did is I took the color that was missing from the top over here and did 1 length of thread. If I was at the bottom and I had still some thread on my needle left, I moved to the other side over here. And with all those stitches I did, 120 every day, I actually finished this side of the background on Saturday. So on Sunday I moved over here and did this butterfly. There's still a little bit missing, so the body, basically the body of the butterfly, as you can see over here, those darker parts, those are still missing, but the rest is done. And down here I have 2 more rows left, and then I have reached the bottom. So basically what's missing, because the bottom is all full coverage, is fill in all this bit, and then she will be done. I'm so happy. Yeah, really happy with all the progress I did. I did bring down the back stitched frame over here. As I said, there's a little bit missing down here still in this corner. But first I will finish this background, a little bit of the dress over here, and then probably then we'll start color completing the whole thing. So there are a few colors that are already finished, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, that's the goal. And also with finishing the background over there are quite a few more colors that will be done on the whole piece. So yeah, pretty cool. Really happy. She looks amazing. Yeah, that's my lilac fairy. Can't wait to get back to her. But I do not want to continue stitching on her every day till she's done, because I do not want to get burnt out. So I decided to stitch on her for 1 week and make a week break. I have 1 week that I'm having a break with her, stitching on her for next week, and so on until she is done. And then I will choose my next focus fancy lady that I stitch on every day, or that I stitch on 1 week, have a week break, and so on. So that's basically the plan going forward. But as I said, Lilac Fairy, really good progress, really happy with her, and yeah, can't wait to get back to her. Okay, then other rotation. My non-full coverage fancy lady. I did not get to her. Yeah, it was super busy this week. I had quite a few chores. I had to work. As I said, I did some knitting and crochet, and yeah, I just never got to her. Also with those 5 March History Sprints projects, there was not enough time in my week to get to all my projects, so I did not get to her. But instead of moving on to the next one for this week, I just decided to delay all of those for 1 week and bring her out this week as my non-full coverage fancy lady. So I'm going to show her later on with plans. My non-full coverage project that does not have to be a fancy lady this week was Tiger Chilling Out by Dimensions. It's a kit. That's what it's going to look like when it's done, and I show a picture of what it looked like last time here. With this one, I last week told you I'm not sure how I'm going to go with this one, because normally those other projects in my rotation I want to give 1 or 2 days during the week. And with this one, I have to stitch during daylight, so I cannot stitch on it a whole day. I cannot bring it out in the evening again. So basically what I did stitch on during the day, and in the evening I had another project to stitch on, and both of those projects got 2 days. So this is where I got to with Tiger Chilling Out. He stitched 2/1 full crosses on 18 count Black Ada needleminders from Denker Designs. Yeah, I did a whole lot over here. I wanted to fill in the column, and it's not that easy anymore to stitch in columns. Over here it was super easy because it were all the same colors, here as well. And now with all this white and yeah, all those different colors, it's getting a bit more complicated to actually stitch in columns. So that's why there's a lot of progress basically over the whole right side of the piece. I'm getting closer to finishing my goal, which is to finish the top half, which basically means I just have to finish his face. Getting closer to his eye. I think his eye will be around here. No, in here actually, I think. Yeah, I think his eye will be in here, so is that too high? I'm not sure. Maybe it is over here. But yeah, I'm getting closer, super happy. What I did was I did every day 200 stitches. So a bit more than 400 stitches over the week, which is pretty good. Really happy with that. And I can't wait to bring him out again, which will be next week. Not this week, but next week, because then will be his 2-year birthday. Or his 2nd birthday. So that's pretty amazing. For 2 years, there's not a whole lot of progress, but it's not the easiest project with the black fabric. I like how it's turning out, and I like how those colors pop. But it's not super easy to stitch on. So yeah, it's fine. 2 years and not a whole lot done. But yeah, I will bring him out for his birthday to stitch on it on his birthday. Not sure for how long or for how many stitches, but I will bring him out. Yeah, that's my tiger. And then let's move to full coverage stitching for last week. Full coverage stitching, which does not have to be a fancy lady. This week or last week was a fancy lady, and it was Dragon Dancer, charted by Haven't Enough Designs. Artwork is by Anne Stokes, and I just cut myself on the paper. Ouch. Yeah, that's what it's going to look like when it's done, and I show you a picture of how it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at. This is stitched on a 32 count white Zweigert linen. I'm stitching 2 over 1/10 stitch, and basically what I did was I took the first color in the top left corner that was missing and finished it over the whole page. And that's everything I did. But with that I got close to 800 stitches, so that's pretty good actually, and I'm really happy with that. So slowly filling this page, and can't wait to get back to it some more, to fill this page some more. So yeah, pretty nice. Happy with this one. As I said last time, this year will just be background stitching, as was last year and as was 2019 when I started this piece. So yeah, not super exciting, but that's the way it is, and I'm happy that I'm making progress, so that's fine. So yeah, continuing on this page whenever I get to it next, which probably will take some time. But yeah, here we go. Dragon Dancer. It's kind of strange to show this piece because yeah, I'm making good progress every time I stitch on it, but there's not a whole lot to see because it's blurry background, and I can't wait to get to the foreground, but that will take a whole lot more pages until I finally get to the point. So yeah, it's kind of strange to show this piece every time, but that's the way it is. Yeah, Dragon Dancer. And then let's move to my full coverage piece that actually is a fancy lady, or has to be a fancy lady. And this week it was Story Keep the Frog Prince, also charted by Haven't Enough Designs. The artwork is by Melanie Dallon. That's what it's going to look like when it's done, and I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And with this one, it's kind of the same as it is with Dragon Dancer. At the moment, I'm just stitching in background, so it's not super exciting. It's stitched on 32 count ice blue linen 2 over 1/10 stitch. The needle minder is from Denka Designs, and what I did, I finished this diagonal down here. I think those 3 blocks were still missing, and then I moved back to the top and started with the next diagonal. Finished the first block, started the next one, and that's been it. This was the project I stitched on those 2 days that I started tiger tooling out, so I finished off the day with this project. It's pretty cool. Up here there are only 30 stitches missing, and I will have reached the top right corner, so that's pretty nice. But there are a lot of stitches that I still have to do before I reach that point. And yeah, can't wait to finish or get closer. Move forward, that's what I wanted to say. Move forward in this diagonal, because I think I will reach the crown. If I don't, nevertheless, it's pretty nice to finish this column and then, or diagonal, and then start the next one, because progress is progress, even if it's just boring background. And I started it in a way that it will take a whole lot of time until I actually get into the foreground. But yeah, that's the way it is. This is Story Keep the Frog Prince, and I mean, I have done quite a bit of stitching on this one already, and it looks pretty cool, but yeah, just not happening a whole lot yet. And with this one, I might have to find another Story Keep I can then put on the other side of this fabric, because as I said, only 30 stitches missing. Yeah, then I need some edge, but then there's still quite a bit of fabric left, so I will probably have to find some other Story Keep, a smaller one, but maybe I can use this fabric once again. That's it. That's all I stitched on last week. it's been quite a bit. So yeah, going forward, I'm going to continue with my rotation. And I'm going to continue with March History Sprints, but there's only one day left, and that one is tomorrow. And by coincidence, this project is also in my rotation for next week. So whenever I get to that one, I just show you and tell you then. So yeah, let's get started with my plans and what I'm going to stitch on this week. First of all, my daily piece that I'm going to stitch 145 stitches every day instead of 120, because then at the end of the week I will have reached more than 1,000 stitches, and that's pretty nice. This week it will be Raven Queen by Mirabilia, and with this one I need the extra motivation of 145 stitches every day. I'm presently up in here in all this boring background, so yeah, I need some motivation to move my way or stitch my way over into her and actually finish her face, and then I think I will have more motivation because she is beautiful. But so far you can see that. So I show you where I'm presently at with her. This is where she's at. She is stitched on a 32 count grey linen. I think it's either smoke grey or pearl grey by Zweigert or Belfast linen, but I'm not sure. As I said, either smoke grey or pearl grey, Belfast linen, stitched 2/2. Needleminder is from Dankai Designs. And as I said, I'm going to continue over here, stitching further down in this kind of turret or stone structure, and then moving my way over her hand, into her arm, up into her face. But that's not something I will get done this week. But progress is progress, because I want to finish her until at about that point. Everything above that I want to finish this year. So there's a whole lot still left to do. But yeah, this is my Raven Queen. Can't wait to do some more on her. Especially because when I'm getting into her face and skin over here, there's a whole lot of beads and cranning. I will start with some cranning over here as well, so looking forward to stitching on her a little bit every day. And starting with her, I told you that last week. I'm going to roll her up because I do not have to take a picture, so I have to, or I can show you next week because I did that last time I actually stitched on her. So I can roll her up and it's easier for me to tidy everything up, and I actually have places left where I can put those projects. Okay, my non-full coverage fancy lady for the week is the one I wanted to stitch on last week, but I didn't. It's Royal Games number 2 by Mirabilia. Number 1 I finished last year, the end of last year. Now I'm stitching on number 2, and this year I want to finish the Queen of Diamonds. So I show you where I'm at. This is where I'm at with her. She's stitched on a 32 count white opalescent Belfast linen, stitched 2/2. Needleminder is from Dankai Designs. And I'm probably going to continue in her staff, or maybe in the queue and the diamond over here. And maybe start backstitching the borders of the card, something like that. So I can finish her from top to bottom, like I like to do. That's just the way I like to stitch, because then it's easier and I don't have to worry about where I start my thread and stuff. So yeah, that's just the way I like to stitch. So can't wait to do some more on her, this time for real. I'm probably going to start with her, or using her as my second project this week, so I can actually make progress on her. Or I stitch on all my other projects a little bit this week, and then the rest of the week I fall in with her and she gets a little bit more progress. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. Okay, my non-full coverage piece that does not have to be a fancy lady is no fancy lady this week, and it's actually my travel stitching. This is the Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I did not get any travel stitching in this week or last week. I'm not sure I will get any this week. But yeah, we'll see about that. I will get some progress on it at home. I'll show you where I'm at. This is where I'm at with this one. So presently in band number 8, which is a specialty stitches band. It's stitched on a 32 count white opalescent linen. I'm stitching 1/2. Needleminder is from Caterpillar cross stitch. With this one, my problem this week was basically when I had a little bit more time for treble stitching, I took my full coverage piece. If I did not have a whole lot of time, that's normally the project I take. But this week, I had not yet started the next specialty stitches band. So I would need quite some time to figure out how the stitch works, how or where I have to start, where I put the next one until I figure the pattern out and can actually go through the whole band without looking at the pattern. But I was not yet at that point, so this one would have actually required some time. And as soon as I had some more time, I went with my full coverage piece to finish the page. So this one took the backseat and did not get any progress this week. But as I said, this week it is actually one of my focus pieces in my rotation, so it will get some progress, and I'm happy about that. So yeah, that's that one. Probably with this one I'm going to start today, because Mondays are normally not good stitching days with filming and everything, and I was already at work, so yeah, even worse. So probably going to stitch on this one because it's kind of a fast project as soon as I figured out where I have to start. Okay, now let's move to my full coverage piece that is a fancy lady. And that one is actually the one I'm using for the March History Sprints. So the event for March History Sprints on the 30th of March 1932. So I'm going to stitch on this one tomorrow. Amelia Earhart is the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Theme: women. Well, I have 5 fancy lady full coverage pieces, but I decided to go with the one I had not yet stitched on during March History Sprints, and that was Mini Katie and Cruncher. Artwork is by Hannah Lynn and charted by Haven Enough Designs. As I said, this one is also in my rotation, so tomorrow I'm not going to do only 100 stitches, but a little bit more. And I'm hoping for a page finish on her. So maybe doing even 2 or 3 days. That would be pretty nice. But I'll show you where I'm at and what I have to do for a page finish. So this is where she's at. So I have just started her eye and her skin. For a page finish, I have to do 30 stitches up in here, and I have a page finish. Yeah, I'm really hoping for a page finish. If I continue this diagonal completely down the way or column completely down the way I want to, I will have 2 page finishes. I want to stitch on her quite a bit to maybe actually get 2 page finishes. She is stitched on a 25 count even weave 2/1 10 stitch. Needleminder is from Henker Designs. And yeah, I'm really hoping for 2 page finishes. That would be super amazing. Yeah, can't wait to actually have that, because so far I have not yet finished a page. And then having 2 on the same date, or maybe same day, or maybe 1 day apart, that's amazing. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Okay, I'm rolling her up later on because the fabric is kind of soft and it's really hard to roll her. Because as soon as I hold it up, the fabric falls down and it's completely unrolled. So that takes a little bit of time. Okay, and then there's one project left for next week, and that is my full coverage piece that does not have to be a fancy lady, and this week isn't a fancy lady. So I'm stitching on 4 Seasons, charted by Haven Enough Designs. Artwork is by Jessica Jerka. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm up here in the top. So I show you where I'm at. With this one, it's kind of complicated to show, because I'm stitching in 20 by 20 blocks, and I stitched completely up over the top. Sorry, a lot of perk threads in here. I did stitch completely over the top, finished the first row of my 20 by 20 blocks, and started the next row with the first 20 by 20 blocks. So the goal would be to do at least one of those 20 by 20 blocks. That would be pretty nice. It's stitched on the 25 count 1/1 4 cross. Needleminder is from Henker Designs. And yeah, that's where I'm at. This one is super hard to photograph or show in a video, because as soon as I bring it closer, there's not the whole thing on the video anymore. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Really happy with this one. And can't wait to stitch on it. Okay, that's it. I hope it was a little bit shorter than all my other videos during the last time. But we'll see about that. I have no idea because I film in sequences and therefore never know how long the video actually is. Okay, if you have any questions, because I did not explain anything very good, or if you want to know a little bit more about my project, just ask in the comments below. I will always answer. It just takes some time. I'm not super fast in answering. One shout out for Nina Hobbyside. She has her own floss tube, and when she watches my video, there's always a comment, and I'm super grateful for that. It's so amazing. And also, if I comment her videos, she's so fast in answering. That's so amazing. And honestly, I don't know how she does it because I'm not able to do that. But yeah, you're amazing, Nina. Yeah, as I said, I will always answer with my videos, and with me, it takes some time. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked. I will be back next week. Yeah, I should be back on Monday. There should be nothing going against that. And I see you then. Bye.